Welcome to the Best of the Anthony Cumia Show. 1 hour of highlights from this past week. Comedy, politics, current events, and pop culture. All completely uncensored.
Let's open up the floor here, of course, to Joe Walsh. Joe!
I'm here.
There he is. How you doing, Joe? Rat had to press a button. He was very nervous. On the phone, of course, Joe Walsh, at Walsh Freedom on Twitter. You also have, I guess, a program here, of course. In Chicago, you're on WIND AM 560 from 5 to 8 p.m., and New York City, WNYM AM 970 from 5 to 7. I love your Twitter feed. You're another one of these, what I like to call the voice of reason, which is most people do not believe. But, you know, there aren't many people that are outspoken and want to speak honestly about a lot of these subjects. And you're one of them, though. Welcome, Joe Walsh.
Hey, Anthony, thanks, man. You know what's funny? When I was in Congress, I always thought politicians were the only ones who were afraid to tell it like it is. But, man, even in this business, people don't do it. You're like one of the rare ducks that does.
It's amazing. And like we've seen, boy, have they tried to shoot this duck down.
Yeah.
It's, you know, but look, I've retreated back to the Alamo, and I'm making a stand. I'm fighting because it really is. We are at the point where there is a general, a genuine fear from people to speak openly and honestly about a lot of topics. And race is, I think, at the forefront of this. You cannot speak openly and honestly about race. And whenever anyone says we need an open dialogue about race, they're lying to you. This isn't true. They want you to parrot what their opinions and their thoughts are on race. And the second you go off their worksheet, you are indeed, and I've seen you call this and me, a racist, a white supremacist. I mean, they break out these terms that just a few years ago were genuinely horrific terms that are now being used for just disagreeing with people.
And you know what, Anthony? It's working because people are scared to death to be labeled a racist. If you get labeled a racist, your career's done. You'll never run for office again. You'll lose that TV show. You'll lose your movie. It's a career killer. It's almost like being called a racist. The other one is you say anything bad about a Muslim. Oh my God, you're going to be tarred and feathered in the public square. That's what I'm finding.
Yeah, but another thing, you can't say anything about Muslims. But, no. Man, you know, Christianity's fair game. Judaism is fair game. And I guess that's because they treat people, for the most part, very civilly, very 2014, and not in archaic Muslim fashion. So you can understand people's fear, but I don't understand the people that back it. A lot of the politicians and white guilt I see a lot of. They actually back this practice and call it, Islamophobia. You put phobia on the back of any word, and all of a sudden you're toast, right? You're
absolutely toast. Hey, you're right, Anthony. I mean, think about this. Even a lot of Republicans and conservatives who I like, politicians, the minute the Michael Brown thing happened, even a lot of them said, they jumped onto Michael Brown's bandwagon. Oh, the poor black kid. He was had his hands up. He was trying to surrender. And then the Eric Garner thing. You saw a lot of politicians, like cowards, get on that bandwagon because they're so afraid of doing anything that might alienate minorities, blacks, gays, Muslims, you name it.
Yep. Anybody that thinks this isn't a vote number game. And that's the bottom line with all of these politicians. It is purely about keeping their jobs, getting those votes. So you don't want to alienate them. For the most part, they know where their base is in the white votership. White people, very apathetic when it comes to issues like this. You don't see any of the real protesting for these police officers or anything. So they have to grab up these minority votes. Those are your...
Well, Anthony, think of how messed up you want one vivid example of the fact that this country's in frickin' decline. Think about this. So two punks die resisting arrest in the middle of a crime, and the country protests and rallies and marches. They're outraged. 2 cops die doing their jobs, and what's the reaction? Nothing.
Nothing. We got people on the news, but not this 24-hour news cycle where they're bashing it into our heads. We certainly aren't seeing that. We saw all of the lies. We saw the lies that were being presented by what is supposed to be legitimate news organizations about hands up and about chokeholds and I can't breathe. When you put all that together and you have people that won't even read a newspaper or read one news article past the headline, that is what they are going to believe. There are people that honestly believe Michael Brown was on his knees with his hands up saying don't shoot when Officer Wilson put the gun to his head and executed him in the street and then was not indicted because of the racist judicial system. They honestly believe that. And if you can't tell me that this fucking murderer wasn't influenced by that type of rhetoric, you're out of your mind.
Well, here's how you know it's true. When the Michael Brown decision came down, when that grand jury decision came down, and it was the right decision, I think I said on air that night, there will be a cop or 2 or 3 shot at and killed within 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
I got to believe, Anthony Cumia, you felt this thing that happened over the weekend, this doesn't surprise you, does it?
It wasn't a surprise. It's how tragic it is. It still was not a surprise. I believe, and of course I was being a little dramatic, or thought I was, last year when the mayor got into office, de Blasio. But I had spelt out a scenario of how I saw New York decline into those Dinkins year kind of atmosphere that we had back then. I didn't imagine one short year later that we would see the decline as rapid as we have. But, yeah, I was talking about police officers being shot at and the trash taken over the street again. This is what we're seeing.
And attacks on cops all over the fucking country are up, Anthony. They're up.
Yep. We had an instance where a gun was put to an officer's head, the trigger was pulled, and if for nothing else than the fact that he was out of ammo, that cop would have been shot in the head. Another officer in Boston was shot at. We had an officer die in Florida.
I'll tell you, you know, and I don't know how I phrase this in a tweet, but this fucking country, you know what we need? We need, like, the NYPD. We need every cop to take 2 weeks off. I mean, just take 2 weeks off and let these damn liberals and minorities, let them take care of their own neighborhoods for 2 frickin' weeks.
Yeah,
and then they'll be on their knees crying and screaming.
Self-police. For people that really don't like the police, the interaction with them is just nonstop. It's this need to have the police in your community. If the police are there all the time, there's a problem, and it's not the police. It's the fact that they will not cooperate with police a lot of times when there's a murder or even drug activity going on in a housing project. You'll never hear people cooperating with the police, and that's part of the problem.
Well, we're starting to see the impact now because you've got, I think the new procedures are no cop can go out on his own. Mm-hmm. They're only now going to respond to real hardcore definitive arrests. So they're already scaling back a little bit.
Yeah, it's, good for them. Good for the cops because why, how the hell are you supposed to go out and do a job this dangerous and be shit on by the people that you have to protect the most? It's astounding to me, the lack of understanding as to what the police are there for, and the lack of understanding as to what assassinating 2 police officers mean. It's not just 2 people being killed by one guy. It's really a comment on the entire community and what they hold important, the values or lack thereof. and it speaks volumes. And that problem is not caused by the police and by law-abiding gun owners and by honest politicians, if you could find a few of them.
You know New York better than anybody. Is de Blasio in real trouble here?
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think he's got the backing of so many of the ridiculous left, especially in a statewide poll. I think he'd do very poorly. But in the city, he's only the mayor of New York City, I think there's enough stupid liberals that will just look at this like we see on Twitter on a daily basis with blinders on. The fog of this racism in their eyes, and they just don't see things for what they are. I can't imagine a more perfectly spelled out scenario than this guy posting that he wants to kill cops because of hashtag Eric Garner, hashtag Mike Brown.
He put it right there.
How do you argue this point to try to make it like it's anything else but an assassination based on this guy's anger about the lies that he's heard with the injustice perpetrated on these two victims?
And, Anthony, that's why frickin' Obama and Holder and de Blasio and all these guys, from day one, they should have said when these decisions came down, respect the decisions. End of story.
Right.
And they wouldn't say that.
They wouldn't. They said that there is a problem we need to address. The judicial system should be fair for everybody. It was. This went through our system, our legal system, the way it has for many, many years. And if the grand jury decides not to indict and you have a problem with it, then you have a problem with our legal system.
Exactly.
And that's a whole nother issue. But to say that they're looking for justice, justice was served. He went through the system that we in this country hold dear and is supposed to hold us together as a civilized nation. He went through that system. And came out the other end without an indictment because they deemed, looking at all the evidence, not the emotion and bullshit we see in the streets and on the news, that he definitely had a right to draw his gun and fire on Mike Brown.
Well, the problem is, my friend, you and I live in a country where 65% of the people don't even know what the fucking Constitution is.
Yes.
And politicians pander to that. It's gross.
The politicians need a stupid public. They need an uneducated public to continue to be elected based on their lies and just the shit that we see on a daily basis. And they have it. Boy, do they have an uneducated public.
Oh, God, Anthony, are we? It's unbelievable. And let's be frank, especially in our inner city urban areas. Bottom line, white, black, or brown, these people are stupid and they don't understand things. They don't know what justice is.
No. Justice apparently is supposed to be revenge, I guess. Without any sense of right and wrong and who is the victim and who is the perpetrator. We are now looking, and I tweeted this a while ago, we're looking at the consequences of bad behavior to be the evil thing. Now, the bad behavior itself doesn't have any bearing on it. It's whatever consequence that bad behavior puts on you is now the evil thing that needs to be looked at and fixed. And the bad behavior is now commonplace. When we looked at the fact that Eric Garner had 31 prior arrests, now regardless of what they were from, because I heard a lot of arguments go, well, they weren't violent crime. I don't know anyone with 2 arrests. Never mind 31 arrests. The people I surround myself with and have surrounded myself with my entire life based on who I am and how I was raised and everything, not one fucking person do I know with 2 arrests. 31 arrests is being looked at like, hey, come on, it happens. You can't blame the guy. Can we actually look at that and say it has some bearing on how he handles himself when the police confront him?
We ask them to deal with the crap and the crud and the garbage of society, our cops, and they do the damn best they can. I still say, Anthony, I'd love it if they said to America, screw you, we're taking 2 weeks off. You go defend these neighborhoods.
Yeah, then you would get an outcry from the law-abiding people in these communities that just want to live their life and raise their family and go, hey, what happened? What's happening?
The wealthy frickin' liberals would be screaming.
Yeah, absolutely. the wealthy liberals that have rarely ever seen a bad neighborhood, aside from maybe driving past it in a very nice car on their way to somewhere equally as nice as their neighborhood.
If they got lost, Anthony.
Yeah, if they got lost. Roll them up. Lock the doors.
Hey, keep speaking the truth. I love to listen to you, man.
Hey, Joe, I love like I said, I love listening to you. Your Twitter feed is refreshing, to say the least. It's nice to have a comrade in arms out in social media.
Hey, Anthony, I've told this to other people. I've only been on the radio a year and a half. You are my mentor, man. You're one of my mentors.
I love it, Joe. Thanks so much. At Walsh Freedom on Twitter, of course, and WIND AM 560, 5 to 8 p.m. in Chicago. Here in New York, it's WNYM AM 970 from 5 to 7. Joe Walsh, Walsh Freedom on Twitter.
Good luck with your ex-girlfriend, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. We all have our crosses to bear, Joe.
Oh, God, yeah. Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot. Take care, man.
You got it.
That's Joe Walsh, not the one from the Eagles. Not the Joe Walsh from the Eagles. He gets that a lot. That's one of those things he constantly... there's certain things on Twitter that you're like, yeah, I know. Like me with the gun mailbox. Anthony, is this your mailbox? He's got to deal with, hey, fucking Eagles. No, it's not the Eagles. But Joe, he's great to follow, man. Give him a follow on Twitter because he dives in head first, much like your pal Anthony.
It's the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. The Anthony Cumia Show airs live Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern in glorious high-definition video, exclusively at anthonycumia.com.
This is amazing. Right here, Jackie Martling, Stuttering John on the Anthony Cumia Show. Thanks so much for coming, guys. I couldn't be happier. I've been psyched for this show for quite a while. I had Jackie on just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And,
so much fun. So much
A lot of fun. Just bullshitting about anything, everything.
Well, my first question was going to be, are we allowed to curse? So I guess
yes, we are allowed to curse. Finally. Believe me, I had a...
The bad news is you're not allowed to stutter.
Well, there goes my act.
I literally have been pushed down into my own basement. Because of political correctness and all the bullshit going on.
Pushed down to his basement with a 12-plush seat screening room, a stage,
I take this fucking basement over my condo.
Right. It's bigger than Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And a popcorn machine.
And a popcorn machine.
That's PS.
But yeah, Jackie was down here a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about just being on the radio years ago, how different it is from now. And John, I was watching some of the clips of shit you did for Stern, and you could just not do that anymore on radio. It can't be done.
Right. Not because it's dirty, because it's so offensive.
It's so offensive,
stupid and wonderful,
and just the thought of like lawsuits and the press getting a hold of it and destroying a career or something.
Yeah. I think I did that.
Yeah.
I'm doing a podcast.
Yes, from my basement. Yeah. Well, look at the three of us here. All we need is Artie.
You're stuck in your basement, and we're traveling to get here. Okay, so do the math.
In the fucking rain.
Yeah, in the rain.
I almost hit somebody.
Out to Long Island.
And Artie ran out of gas money, so he's on the expressway.
Do you know how hard it is to Tinder and drive? It's fucking, I swear to God, I do that now.
Do you get responses from that fucking
yet.
thing?
Oh, Tinder, I love it. It's like trading cards when you were a kid.
Got him, need him.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
Really?
Oh, I love it.
Do you get responses?
Yeah, but mostly from the porn ones.
Oh, yeah, I
pay
know.
$120 and I'll
hookers and porn.
Is this
and
you
spam.
flip through the pictures and
yes,
choose who you want?
And you deny and then you accept.
Don't show me on the air. Show me later. But
why not?
It's
but
easy.
How do you know? Are they from here?
Yeah, look.
Yeah, they're supposed to be from your area.
Look, this is my picture from 1975. and then you just see the girl like that.
Yeah.
And you just go, I take her.
Take her.
But it's so hard to do while you're driving.
Yeah, well,
now there's a match. Boom, I got a match
now,
already.
Hold on a minute. If you say, I like this one, then what happens?
Yes, look.
Now, look, you got a match.
And I say, hey, what are you doing tonight after the show?
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's it. And then hopefully, I'll hook up. I'm horny as hell, man.
Bravo! I can't believe you got a bite just like that.
I know.
Weren't you on here the other day saying you never?
I never get a response, you bitches. You fucking bitches.
And look,
you need a 1975 picture.
Maybe that's it.
And they're taking this.
Yeah.
I know. What the hell's wrong with him?
And he's in my territory here.
Hopefully, she'll respond. I'll tell him to come
How
by.
many
Congrats.
millions of dollars is that per year?
That thing's free.
Free.
Yeah.
Free of charge.
I still haven't ever figured out where's the word Tinder come from. Is there any,
I wonder. I don't know. Like you're kindling a relationship, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
I think that's it. A little spark.
That's why you make the big bucks.
That's it. That's why I'm in
certainly
my
not
basement.
tender. It's like Johnny Fuckerfast.
No, yes. That's pretty much what it is.
Exactly.
Well, I absolutely want to talk a little bit about back in the day.
Sure, man.
Boy,
I'm an open book. I'll talk about anything.
the pussy must have been flying at you at that point.
No.
I want to apologize. I want to apologize to my wife.
To my I want to apologize.
I want to apologize to my wife, Nancy.
I gotta tell you about your engineering there.
Oh, shit.
You're not only engineer, but Keith. I said, a guy there was a caller from Philly. I said, "Oh, Philly, I almost got divorced there." I said, "That's where I was in the bathtub with Howard and Jessica Hahn." And Keith goes, "You were in the bathtub?" I'm like, "You don't know about that?" He didn't know. And what's his name? The engineer, Ben.
Yeah.
Rat. He's like 22 years old.
And then I don't know if you know this, Anthony. Then on the way home, we planted a lingerie in Jackie's suitcase without telling him.
I got home. Hold on.
I don't know if anybody knows that.
No, Jessica Hahn was wearing a pink negligee, and she got in the bathtub and took it off, right?
Yeah.
What nobody also doesn't, what people don't know is before Jessica got in the bathtub and Howard got in the bathtub, the bath was run, and we threw Stuttering John in the bathtub. I swear to God, and he got out. The water was black.
Oh, right.
We had to drain the tub.
Hey, I'm Puerto Rican, okay?
I remember hearing that.
But I got home, and Nancy was out of her mind because she didn't hear the broadcast. All she had was all her friends saying, "Oh, Jackie and Howard, had sex with Jessica, blah, 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 blah." So I got home. She was crazed, and I thought she was going to kill me, and she left. And after she left, I opened my suitcase, and here's the pink, wet negligee.
Oh, my
if she hadn't
God.
seen it,
it
had nothing to do with me.
He would have got divorced 10 years ago.
Maybe you would
I would have saved you more money.
Save your money.
Divorce, forget divorce. She would have killed me. If she had opened it, oh my God! And I'm laughing because it was the greatest stunt ever.
That is a good one.
Oh my God!
What piece
my
of
heart
shit.
was like, Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
Holy shit!
And I didn't know she was coming right back, so I went and threw it over the fence. It was just.
Was that kind of an inspiration of the part in the movie where you see
him finding
him
the stuff in his
the tub and?
No, well, that was absolutely the him in the tub with Fred.
With Fred.
Oh, really?
He puts Fred in the tub with Linda Blair. Meanwhile, I almost get killed and almost get divorced over the incident. I don't get to be in the movie.
You aren't. I'm in the fucking credits.
It was one of the funniest things in the movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
We had the two funniest scenes in the movie. I don't mind saying.
I remember that Betty Thomas said to me, I did the take it, like in the movie, this is the director, she goes, "We can't use that. You're spitting all over the place." I go, "That's exactly why you should."
That's why you should
and that's
use
the one they use.
Spit flying out of your mouth.
Spit on the lens.
Was there a reason you weren't in the movie? I mean, you're a pretty big part of the fucking...
It wasn't in my
in your
era.
They timed it.
Yes.
Very. They made it look like they went to the moon, and then I stumbled in at the last minute. And Stuttering John wasn't there yet.
No.
Yeah, it was kind of. The timing was a little weird on that. I guess they had to get everything in.
Look at Jackie Martling just stepped in, Robin, to help us celebrate the good fortune we created.
And they did kind of cool him up a lot earlier than he was cool. There was the little afro and the mustache through all of NBC.
When I first walked in the Stern Show, he was built like a pear. He was a big, fat Jewish guy with a big afro. And I said to Fred, what kind of music does he listen to? He says, I can't get him to listen to music. I can't get him to watch sports. And all of a sudden, Dee Snider came in and said, you should wear this. You should wear this.
Right.
You like this and tell everybody you like this. And all of a sudden, there's this new person. You know?
That was Dee, right? He kind of influenced his look, I guess.
Yeah. Because when I look at somebody,
If you want to look,
if I look around the room, I say, there's the role model I want.
The guy I need to look like.
What color lipstick?
Brad Pitt. I want to look like Dee Snider.
What color lipstick?
Oh my God!
He's wearing heels so high you almost can't see his fucking lipstick. You know?
John, I think a lot of people want to know, like, what happened with that relationship. You were a huge part of the fucking show. There's no one could deny that. What transpired to like end that relationship?
Well, I mean,
say it.
No, I'm not. I don't hold back on anything. The truth was, I mean, you know, I majored at NYU for film and television. Always wanted to get into television. You know, it was time. I was there. And, you know, like, listen, I love Howard. I'm grateful to him. He gave me my start. I think he's one of the most talented guys on radio. I'm not just saying that, not kissing ass or whatever. But, you know, there were good times, but they were bad, man.
Sure.
I didn't like every day hearing what a loser I was. I didn't like when he told me to abort my first kid because I'm not fit to be a father. I mean, there were some bad times, too. So when you got these fans going, how could you leave such a great place? I'm like, well, it was good. It was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
But there were times that really hurt. I would leave like almost in tears, like, you know, because he was my idol.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, and to hear what a lose you. So there was great times, but also I'm a sensitive dude, and I'd really be hurt by that. I would talk to my wife, or my ex-wife now, but I would be like, I just can't take it. I mean, it's just.
But plus, they refused to pay you, which was.
I made nothing.
I
was making shit.
A lot of people were under the impression that
why
of you guys.
Why did you leave to go to the Tonight Show for $400,000 or $500,000? I mean, $500,000 while you were making $35,000. I don't know. Actually, I was making $85,000 when I left.
85.
Is that right? See, I didn't even know. I knew it wasn't a lot, but like. You know.
Everyone assumed that because the show is such a juggernaut that all of you guys were making a lot of money. That was the assumption.
We were national.
Yeah.
It was. You know what? When I left,
Beatles are radio.
We were the Beatles. And when I left, I was making a decent amount of money. But if I hadn't walked out 3 times before that last time, I would have never. Because that was the only way to leave and come back.
Well, even the listeners knew that when Jackie's contract was up, that was a bit. It was going to become a thing on the show.
Right.
About you threatening to leave.
But do you remember, I was in the hallway right in the elevator, bang, before you left. It was right around the time, and I said, Jack.
Which time?
I don't know. No, this is the last time. I swear to God, Anthony, because I remember like it was yesterday. And there we were. I said, Jack. I said, stick it out for 5 more years. You'll have your retirement. You remember, but then you just didn't want to do it anymore.
You know, it wasn't I didn't want to do it. It was like you draw a line in the sand for yourself. We talked about that.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
But I'm so full of crap because a couple months later I said, I'll take the deal was on the table. They didn't take me back.
Wow.
But you're going to goof on me again, but I was like, I felt bad that I was breaking up the Beatles of radio. Because every time I got interviewed for 15 years, they'd say...
Who was I, fucking Billy Preston?
You aspired to be Billy Preston.
The guy that came in to do Ringo's tracks.
You were Paul's grandfather.
Pete Best.
But they...
you were saying Yoko?
It was so crazy because every time you got interviewed, after the first couple of years, they say, you guys are so great, but how long can it last? And I'd say, hey, listen, this morning it was me and Fred and Howard and Robin, just like it was the first day. And as the years went on, they kept saying, how long can it last? And after all those years,
you're already past
together.
Asking how long can it last.
Right.
Right.
And then I was the one that screwed it up, and it was weird. And what you miss is not the money and not the people saying hello. You miss, we talk about this, sitting around with 5 people, 4 people, 7 people, and laughing for 5 hours.
There is that camaraderie
it's
and
so
just
much fun.
You really do take yourself out of your everyday life for that short time that you're in there. And what you said before.
And you don't that sitting around with any other group of people.
You
just don't. You
don't get that.
Plus, you give your life to the show. You talk. I mean,
yes.
I talked about trying to have sex with an Noxzema bottle. I mean,
everything.
Dude, don't ever try it. It burnt the hell out of my penis. But I'm saying, you really give your every part of your life.
That's why I could never go to sleep, because I refused to go to bed at 8 o'clock and give my life to the show. I'd stay up and watch TV.
Jackie and I would drink we would drink, Jack, till like 1 in the morning.
I was telling him.
Get stoned.
It's like,
there'd be mornings when
we drive together.
I got to tell you about it. But there were there were mornings where the show was done, and I'd look over and I'd see a stack of the notes that I wrote, and I'd be like, where'd they come from?
You wouldn't even.
John's like, listen, I live in Bayville now. Let's ride together. Let's ride together. I'm like, all right. The first day, I'm going to pick him up. I go in. It's dark. It's dark, and I pull in, and I'm on the schedule. I know when I'm leaving. If I leave, I don't know what time, but I know by my sense at 4:27 I'm going, or whatever it is. And I pull up, and he's not there. And he's not there. And it's 4:30. I can't honk. Right? So I'm sitting there freaking out. All of a sudden, I see, and
wasn't it raining too?
Yeah, it was this nasty day. And in the shadows, I see this thing coming. It's John in his underpants carrying his clothes.
Come on.
And he jumps in the car. And sorry, my alarm wasn't set or whatever. And I'm like, this is the last day, John. Well, I'm not going to sit there every day.
Right, every morning while you come out in your underwear.
But it's raining and it's freezing. He's on his underpants, putting his clothes on.
Okay, that's the
and
bad.
Now did I make that up?
No. That's the bad me part. Here's the bad Jackie part. So Jackie wasn't exactly in the best moods every morning.
Oh, please.
So there I am, and I'm going, hey, Jack, how you doing? He goes, I'm all right. This is I was driving. I go, no, it's everything. Like how you doing? He goes, this is why I don't want to drive with you because I don't want to have to answer how the fuck I'm doing every morning.
Shit.
And this is before he gets his coffee. He has a little ritual. He gets coffee.
Right.
He was already freaking pissed off.
I don't remember that, but I'm absolutely sure he's still.
How long did the carpooling last?
One day.
It was
no,
one
no,
day.
No. It was
a couple days.
It was a couple more.
And it was like, Jackie, I'm going to do my radio show. Just hang around and give me a ride home. Like,
And this cheap fuck has to go over the 59th Street Bridge because it's free. He can't go through the Midtown.
Through the tunnel.
The Midtown's nothing. He's got to go through 8 billion fucking mazes.
Queens Plaza, all that bullshit.
To save $2.50 fucking cents. He's making $800 grand. Whatever he's made, he's got to save $2.50.
He still thinks he's on the Stern Show.
The Anthony Cumia Show.
So you guys were fans then, you and Opie.
I was a huge fan.
So then, all right, so then what happened then?
Yeah, exactly. What happened?
No, because... Right.
You know what? I'll tell you exactly what happened because when I started coming on the Stern Show, Imus used to go to the brass at NBC and say, I don't want that afternoon guy talking about me. I don't want my name being brought up. And Howard was so incensed that he wasn't allowed to break balls and take shots at Imus. And then all of a sudden you guys... were part of the same company, you were taking shots at Howard, and he was like, I don't want... it was an exact role reversal.
Here's what the deal was.
But see, tell me what I'm trying to get at.
He just hated them for being on the air and being talented.
No. Hold on. Apparently you guys would trash him, right?
Yes.
but why if you were fans? That's the one thing I'm trying to
Here's how it worked.
We let him answer.
But this is how it worked. We started getting a little heat up there at AAF in Massachusetts. Just a little bit of heat. We were up against BCN. Howard was on BCN syndicated. And I think one time we did something. It was kind of a Jeopardy bit, and he's like, "Oh, again, they're ripping me off, and I invented that, and that whole thing." And we had seen him disassemble radio shows and personalities. Just destroy. DeBella was the ultimate destruction of a radio personality. It was like a murder. It was amazing.
Literally.
And being fans of his for so many years, you knew that was not the way to react. By just ignoring him. You'd hear the PDs all the time. Just ignore Howard. Don't talk about him. And he destroys you. So we were like, all right, we have to fight back just as hard and just as mean.
But did he fight with you first?
Yes. He actually called us imitators and rip-offs and stuff. And that's kind of when we knew, this is good. We're getting some heat. So instead of sitting back, we decided to just fire at him. And then when we came to New York, it just escalated. To where, I would do the impression.
Oh, so this happened before you were in New York?
Yes, even before NEW.
I don't even. Do you remember that, Jack?
Oh, yeah.
But now we're working for the same company.
They were the new kids on the block.
And
the new kids
the
in
new
radio.
old kids on the block. And then
I know because I know I was pissed at my brother because he was big fans of you guys. He had that fucking wow bumper sticker.
Oh Christ!
I'm like, hey! I work for Stern.
Hey.
Get that fucking thing off that piece of shit.
It was a two-way thing because we really escalated it to just horrid levels of personal attacks and everything. But we had, like I said, I was a huge fan.
Yeah.
And during my construction days, I sat in that fucking van when I was supposed to be working until 11:30, whenever the fuck it went on.
Did he know that you were on the show with the impressions? Did Jackie?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually.
It actually replayed on the E! Show a few times over the years.
And we found that out, but it wasn't something, that...
I never knew. I never knew that. And
to be honest with you, I never had a problem with anyone on the Stern Show.
Yeah.
I really didn't. About dismantling another show, if you guys take an attack, and that's radio. That's what he did.
That's what he did. And being a fan, you knew if you sat back and didn't do anything, you were done. He was going to discredit you. And if you fought back and made people laugh, not just he's a fucking you can't just come into New York and attack the number one guy that's been there for years.
Have something
so
to
we
say,
just kind of chiseled away, had a little fun with it. Until Mel Karmazin invited us into his office one day and said, "So what time do you wake up in the morning and say, how am I going to fuck Mel Karmazin?"
Oh, did he say that?
That question. 8? Yeah. Because the question doesn't even pose that you're not fucking
Why
him.
was he? But okay, tell me. I
know that
I don't know this stuff.
Mel never referred to it as the Howard Stern Show. He referred to it as my show.
My show.
Oh
right.
God, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So you noticed that? I'm sorry.
He's like,
I just never heard this.
How does it do the company good that my afternoon show is beating up on my morning show and this? And he just made it sound like we couldn't mention Howard anymore. We couldn't say Howard Stern.
Yeah.
So we used to put in the Kid Rock sound clip, radio edit, from the song. And we used to call him radio edit. They gave us a memo that we couldn't even say radio edit.
Radio edit
we
was
couldn't say radio edit and relate it to Howard.
This is something I didn't know. So as far as you knew, that was coming from Mel?
Yeah. But I think it was.
Listen, I got to be honest. And Tommy says, "When you say that, it means you lie all the time." Fuck you.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. Okay. No, but in Howard's defense, and I'm not trying to win any points because I don't give a shit. I think I'm banned from the show. It doesn't matter. But the thing that I could understand is like if you're David Letterman, right, and then
I wouldn't be here.
And then the guy that's on after you is making fun of David Letterman.
Right.
I could understand why that would bother him. And I'm sure. I mean, can you understand?
Yeah,
that?
but if
except
Letterman,
for the fact that he destroyed Imus until they made him shut up when he was on NBC. That was like it's easy. You shoot at the guy at the top.
We were at the dish it out and take it kind of mindset at that point. I mean, Howard obviously was very used to bashing other people, celebrities, other radio shows. And we were doing the same thing.
And also, you guys goofed on me, too. I just want you to know that.
Did we?
Yes, you motherfuckers. I had your flat Christmas tree and all.
I'm trying to remember.
No.
At least he goofed on me before they had the show.
No. And it wasn't even my fault because I Steve Kingston was our program director,
Oh, yes.
And they had me do, and I admit it was fucking stupid and lame. And, listen, I'm a pro. I'm not a. This is the program director's fucking brilliant idea. Yeah. Hey, on April Fool's Day, we're going to play, like, opera or something.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and then you guys are like, hey, Stuttering John's great idea is to play opera or all the songs on April Fool's Day. What an asshole.
That was the K-Rock NEW.
And meanwhile, it wasn't me.
Of course it wasn't you.
Dude, I was drinking all night. They just said, here, do this.
Of course it wasn't you.
Do you remember?
Hey, at least you didn't get fired on April Fool's Day. Jesus, bunch of
Do you remember what we did to Mark?
They fired you on April Fool's?
Yeah, for the mayor. We said that the mayor of Boston was dead.
That's right.
That's when we got summarily tossed out of the Commonwealth.
Let's go.
Yes, exactly.
It's the best of the Anthony Cumia Show. 1 hour of what you missed this week because you're too damn cheap to pay for it.
We have a mystery guest on the hotline. Hello, mystery guest.
Hey, buddy, this is Ron Bennington, your old pal from WNEW.
There he is, everybody. Ron Bennington, Ronnie B., the half of the Ron and Fez program, on the phone on this Christmas Eve with us. How are you, sir? How are you celebrating the holiday?
Well, I always give you a call every Christmas.
That is true. It's become a tradition.
And we just count our blessings,
Yes, we do. On a couple of fingers of one hand, we count said blessings.
How's things going for you? I was watching your show yesterday.
Yeah.
And you kind of recreated the Howard Stern Christmas show from 1992.
Yes, it was exciting. I thought that was pretty cool to have Jackie the Joke Man and Stuttering John on.
It was fantastic. It really was.
Yeah, pretty interesting to hear some of the ins and outs of the Howard Stern show back in the day, you know?
Well, wait till next week when you get high-pitched Eric and Captain Jank. That should be...
I was just waiting for someone to call in with a Baba Booey.
Yeah.
Howard Stern's penis, but we didn't get that call. That's good. I hear John DeBella is going to be calling in.
That's so funny. It's really weird sometimes, like when you say how everyone gets there, it's almost like an old-timers game in baseball.
Yes.
Where everybody is all buddies now.
Yeah, it is odd because there was some bad blood floating around as far as the Stern show and the Opie and Anthony show went, and just K-Rock and NEW. You know, you felt like you were choosing sides, and you had a battle for the good of your station.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And then
bumper sticker wars. Oh, we fucking put bumper stickers on their van.
Yeah. We're gonna, we'll show them. It's like when you watch a History Channel special, and one of the guys from the one of the Japanese guys that bombed Pearl Harbor is talking to one of the crew of the Arizona, and they're just sitting there next to each other, kind of hashing it out.
Yeah, they're laughing it up like those were the days.
Right.
We were so young. We had everything in front of us.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was like. But you're a student of radio, Ronnie. You've been in the business. You know the ins and outs. And those guys were on the Stern show during the pinnacle, the peak of Stern's popularity. And it's kind of compelling to hear them talk about those days and how much of a different impression the listener got as opposed to what was going on behind the scenes. But that's always the way. Yeah.
Sure, because both of them were wondering, does Howard need a Pop-Tart? You know what I mean? Like, let's face it.
Who's going to heat up his potato?
In radio, they were fucking manservants.
Yeah. They did voice their displeasure with some of the more menial tasks that they were instructed to do on Howard's behalf.
What else would they be doing? What else would they possibly be doing with their life?
Well, that's true. I guess it was a good gig. But then John went off. In 10 years, he was the announcer for Leno over at The Tonight Show.
You watched the show. Did you ever see him doing the announcing?
Well, he did the, and now, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Leno,
Right. And that was the way to make Howard mad. Hey, does he stutter anymore?
Yeah, he was stuttering a bit when Jackie would stare at him.
Right.
Jackie could make him stutter just by staring at him. It was it was kind of cool, very 1992 to watch. But Ronnie, I gotta ask you, how are things over on the Ron and Fez show? What channel are you guys on now?
I don't know. We're on the Raw Dog channel.
Oh, they didn't put you back? They didn't put you back on
like 145 or something. I don't know what it is.
I thought they were going to put you back on the Opie's channel.
Well, they talked about it once, but then the Raw Dog guy wanted us to stay,
That'd suck, because then you got to get people to help you move again. All the furniture's got to, go back.
We already have the kids settled into school, and it becomes so difficult to pull them in.
Pull them out of school, and, it does screw things up. I remember that as a kid. Not very fun.
When are you coming back to work? Everybody keeps...
Yeah, I know. I would just, a long, extended sabbatical. I like taking a little time off. Sometimes you got to do this. I'm sailing around the world on my new sleuth.
Well, that's good to hear, because the rumor was cancer. So
no. I'm just I'm finding myself is what it is. I don't think I've been in touch with me, and I need some me time. So I told Opie, just fucking get my name off the wall, and I don't want to hear Anthony over there or anything. I just want to find out who I am, and then eventually I'll find my way back.
That's great.
Yeah. How's Fezzy doing with that whole the Jizz show, the Opimi Ez show? What's going on? Is he still all nervous?
No. He's just on top of the world these days. You wouldn't even recognize him, man. He's just so confident. He's got it together.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to hear. I did hear his hypnotism.
Yeah.
Where he was a few people.
Right.
One of which I guess was Opie, and wow, he really liked plugging that YouTube page and his hashtag, his Twitter.
He kind of dude broed Opie there. I don't know where it all came from, but I talked to Ope. Ope told me that he put it up, but he wouldn't even listen to it.
Really?
He said, he goes, I don't want to look. I'm glad Fez had a good day. I put it up on my, hashtag Opie Radio, but I didn't even bother listening. I just put it out there as a big victory for Fez.
It was very funny. I liked the part where it was like, hey, don't go run and tell Fez the things that I didn't say, even though I said them.
Yeah.
It was like the old Fez back at NEW, the RonandFez.com Fez.
I know. And people say to me, like, is hypnotism real? I go, I know Fez believes it's real because I see what he does.
Every single time he has been hypnotized, it has worked. It has worked perfectly. And, it's the only, kind of plausible deniability there is that it's not a phony load of shit when a hypnotist comes on a radio show and makes people do things. I tend to believe it's not real. But when you see Fez, you got to believe.
Well, here's the thing. I think Fez loves the fact that he is not responsible for what he said, right? So that's what he likes. Now, me, I just live my life that way anyway. You live your life that way anyway. But, because even when he's hypnotized, I try to put a fucking, stick in his spokes and knock him off the bike. He just fucking keeps going for it. He loves it.
He needs the hypnotist to be like the one in Office Space, where he hypnotizes him and then he dies, and then Fez is just hypnotized all the time at that point. Before you know it,
he's... I don't know why you would think he would get hypnotized every morning the way, some people go to the spa,
Right. Yeah, the way you'd make breakfast for yourself. You just hypnotize yourself, and then he comes in, and actually the hypnotist on the Office Space kind of looks like Fez.
Right, he does. Everyone in Office Space looks like
everyone. And how's the rest of the crew?
Everybody's great. Everybody misses you.
Yeah, I miss going up there and having the fun and shenanigans that I would have going in there. I just had Jimmy on Skype here on my show that's going to air. It was recorded, going to air New Year's Eve, and just so much fun to go back and forth with that fucking guy. And I miss that the most. It's he's like my scarecrow. I miss you I'll miss you the most.
That's so fucking sad.
It is. It is. And it was great because it was Skype, so we were able to see him sitting in his virtual sports museum that he has behind him with the fucking, I could count 15 baseballs, a boxing glove that's signed by fucking Muhammad Ali. It really is. He should just open up a restaurant there and make it some kind of a hard rock cafe for tranny prostitutes.
Well, that's true. That's what he has instead of a family. He'll sit and hug Muhammad Ali's boxing glove.
Those are the things that are important. Important to little Jimmy Norton.
When he's on his deathbed, let's just all pile it on him.
Yes, that's what he was surrounded by: his baseballs, basketballs, and Aussie photos. That's what you'll read. Ronnie, you're a family guy. You're a very close knit family. What are you doing for Christmas? What's Christmas like at the Bennington house?
Well, we're going to fuck these Vietnamese chicks that we're all bringing up. That's one of the things we like to do.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and then later we yell, "You no tell, you no tell." So they can still be threatened.
They can still be. That's great. You just have to show them a picture of a shipping container, and they realize what they have to do.
Oh, they know. They know in their own. I mean, I think that they just pictures is all they really understand.
Right. You want to, and you do want them to understand that you don't want to go from the nail place to the Yankee cranky shop if you want to keep the progression you've made.
Yeah. This time of year, do you wish you had a family, Ann, or you're just glad that you got people breaking into your house and rubbing shit on stuff? How does that work for you?
It still was better than coal in my stocking.
Right.
Cat shit on my dresser. I don't know what that is. Maybe I was just a little naughty all year. Is that what it was? Cat shit on your dresser with a girl's keys shoved in there. Not too psychotic. At least Beavis wasn't boiling in a pot when I came home.
Is that the girl that I met that you brought to unmask with you?
Let me think. I'm trying to think. Did she come to the?
I don't.
Ronnie.
Yeah.
It is a revolving door of nuts, just kooks coming in. I can't even keep track anymore. It's just they come in, they spout off their baggage and lunatic fucking logic.
The 20-year.
The 20-year.
Oh, yes, it was.
That was her.
Yes.
Yeah, that was her then at the 20-year thing we did. Yes, that was her.
Yeah, well, I saw that one coming. That's all
you did, huh?
I saw that one coming.
Because she was with me. That's really the only indication you need that that's coming at some juncture.
Oh, yeah. It's just someone really young. You're giving her anal and you're yelling about black people and cops. And I don't know. It just seems like it's all coming to a head, Ed.
How come Hef doesn't have to put up with this? What am I doing wrong that Hef has done right? I'm really trying to model myself after the Hugh Hefner, Bob Guccione, kind of, the mansion, the chicks, just doing my own thing without, cat shit. I don't think Barbie Benton ever left a load of shit on Hugh Hefner's dresser.
No, but she did leave one on his chest.
Oh, see, but that's different.
Sure.
You got to take the good with the bad.
Sure.
I don't know what I'm doing differently than Hef because he's got the young girls. He showers them with gifts in order to keep them in the house.
But here's the deal. He wasn't living in Long Island. You know what I mean? He was in Los Angeles. There was a whole different pool he was pulling from.
Is that it? It's the actual the pond I'm fishing in isn't as refined.
It's polluted, if we're going to be totally honest.
It's polluted. I'm fishing in Lake Ronkonkoma, which, as we all know, not too good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. I don't know. And then it turns out she took my credit card, one of my credit cards, and chalked up about 9 large on it. Yeah. She texted me a few things like, hey, they were only things that were a necessity. And like $500 at the Container Store is a necessity. Right. $790 at Best Buy is a necessity. What? I didn't know they sold fucking, rice, beans, and grain at Best Buy.
She's probably building a pipe bomb with your money that's going to come in through the window.
I wouldn't doubt it. Have you heard my my litmus test? It's not actually really a litmus test. It's the safety procedure that I have here based on knowledge of the girls that come in.
I know it, but I want you to go through it again.
All right. There's magazine in, magazine out, and hide the whole shittery. So some girls I could be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to leave the mag in my pistol. I feel I feel safe enough where I don't have to worry about that. Some girls, I'm like, you know what? I'll leave the gun there, but I am really I'll take the cannolis. I'm gonna pop the mag out and put it in a different place than the gun. And then other girls are just open the safe, put anything, all the silverware, large paper clips, anything that could be used as a weapon into the safe, and those are pretty much the girls that have been coming here of late. I'm running into quite the spell.
When we write the book on your life, this is going to be the sleeping with the enemy chapter that we're going through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is the second episode I've had where Angry Girl has done things, because as you remember, Jill Nicolini, WPIX traffic girl, formerly WPIX traffic girl, Jill Nicolini, she took the Canadian girl, took her clothes and burnt them in my fire pit. And which, if people come over and take the tour of the house, there are still underwires from the bras in that fire pit. It's almost like Machu Picchu or whatever it is. It's like you're looking at the relics of my life.
This reminds you of like one of those Friday night NBC shows where they take an hour to tell this horrible story, and I'm afraid I'm going to be fucking... I knew that dude.
Yeah. I knew that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... Ronnie, come on now. You lived quite the topsy-turvy, wild rock star life, especially down there in Florida. I know you are married, but there was a point where you were, before marriage, you had to have interacted with some pretty nutty girls when you were...
Oh, yeah. And that all took place before marriage. You're right. Good. But
yeah.
You can only... it's like basically... riding a bull. How many are you going to be able to do? You know what I mean? Before your neck gets broken. I mean, you've proven it, dude. You've risked your life.
That's a great analogy because you grab that strap, the chute opens, they jabber with that fucking hot shot in the ass, and you're along for the ride. Stay on 8 seconds.
But one of these girls is like going to put a gun up to Keith's head and make him fuck you in the ass with some razor dildo while he's crying. I mean, it's fucking 7. You live 7 right now. You see it happening.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Ronnie. Something's got to give. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know where to look anymore. I don't know, where to find. I'm trying to find a nice girl on Tinder, but I'm swiping like a maniac. But I'm not getting any responses back.
Right now, I think it would be safe for you to start sucking dick in a fucking bus station.
It's a viable option.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Match.com or one of those sites. Maybe I got to up it to at least 30. Maybe I got to get out of the girls in the 20s and get into 30s, maybe 40. I don't know. I see a lot of the people that I used to go to school with, these girls on Facebook, and they all have families. Some of them aren't married, but they all got kids, and they just... Ronnie, you know what they look like. You know what they look like.
You're just going the opposite direction, Benjamin Buttons. You know what you're up to. You know exactly what's happening. The whole thing is you are afraid of death. So you bring it closer to you.
No, I think I embrace life. I like the idea that I'm doing things. There's plenty of time to hang out with old people, and even if there isn't, so what? So,
by the way, you know who's saying that?
Who's that?
The girls you're dating.
God damn, Ronnie.
They're going to start bringing you jam.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Now we're talking uncensored. If you like what you hear, visit AnthonyCumia.com for subscription information and show details. And never miss a minute of fully archived shows available at any time in streaming HD video or audio download. Go 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 download.